welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is AhTravesty coming back at you with another Let's Play Neverwinter Nights 2. I am going to play the Icewind Dale mod. This mod is a remake of the original game that's like, I don't know, 10 years old, something like that, and it was ported into a mod for Neverwinter Nights 2, obviously. So, just a couple of things to note. I pulled this off the Neverwinter Nexus, and I'll leave a link to the mod in the description below. So let's get on starting this new game here. Okay, I'm not going to go through all this reading because you'll hear it when the game starts, but just a couple notes here. Races from the original Icewind Dale are supported. Classes from the original Icewind Dale are supported. You start at level 1. You can have a party size of up to 6. But combat is balanced for a party of 4. Difficulty, party size of 4 will be challenging and a party of 6 will be easier. So you could go through probably with a party of 5 or something like that and you'll be alright. I did play this about a year ago and I went through with a party of 4 and it was relatively challenging, but I don't think I'm going to go through this one too with a party of 4. I did have an LP on this earlier, over a year ago, but I'm going to tell you it was so crappy that I just decided to make a whole new one because the sound was garbage, the resolution was garbage, and the editing was crap. So I'm just going to redo this whole thing because I think this is a pretty worthy mod to play and have at least somewhat of a good LP. So let's get some Icewind Dale going on here, shall we? Okay, I did already pre-made some characters for this. It's going to be a fighter, a cleric, a rogue, and a wizard. So we're going to go ahead and start with selecting our main character, and that will be my cleric. Should be Tavern. Yep, he's a first level cleric. He's lawful neutral. He's a ladies' man. Deity is Helm. His highest score is 16 in Wisdom, and he's got Strength, Constitution, and Charisma, which are above average with 14s, and everything else is average. So let's start. Okay, so this is the initial room where you're going to start the game. Here's where you're going to do a lot of your character creation and stuff to build your party and all that. So you're going to see the Dungeon Master here sitting in front of you. Let's go ahead and talk to him. How may I be of service? Can you give me any information about this campaign that will help me with my party creation decisions? How many companions can I have? You can have up to 6. Party size does make a difference in the speed of level progression, so choose wisely. Yes. Yeah, so if you got a party of 6, you're going to obviously level up slower, whereas if you got a party of 4, you should level up relatively quicker, because there's less people to divvy up the experience points to. Tell me about possible companions that I may add throughout the campaign. At this point, there are no companions. What classes will work best for this campaign? A well-balanced party. A tank, a healer, a mage, and a rogue. And that's what I'm going to go with. And which skills are used? Conversation skills such as diplomacy are not used. Sleight of hand is not as useful as there are only a few NPCs to pickpocket. Crafting skills can be useful as basic crafting has been implemented, however. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to the party creation interface. Alright, so I got Thavik ready. He is my cleric, so the next person I'm going to get is Broyshond. He is actually the brother of Thavik. He is a neutral good fighter, human. He's got the veteran background skill, and he's also Deity Helm. Highest is Strength 16, and Dexterity, Constitution, and Intelligence are above average of 14, and then Wisdom and Charisma are just average with 10. So we'll go ahead and add Broy. Next guy is going to be our rogue, Eric. He is Lightfoot Halfling, Chaotic Neutral, Wild Child background, Helm Deity. Highest score is Dexterity with 18, with Constitution and Intelligence being above average, and the remaining are average. So we'll add him. And last but not least, we're going to have my all-time best here, my Peldor of Ulm. He is a Moon Elf Wizard with a Wizard's Apprentice background. Deity is Helm. Intelligence is highest with 17, followed shortly thereafter with the Dexterity with a 16, and all the other skills, or all the other abilities, are average. So there we go. So I got a balanced party with a Cleric, a Fighter, a Rogue, and a Generalist Wizard. If anybody's seen any of my other LPs with Neverwinter Nights, you'll know that I am not a power gamer. I do not min-max. I'm a casual gamer. I just want to go in and play the game. So all this other stuff I just kind of ignore. So I just want to play the game. So let's accept the party and let's go. And once we get in the game, we'll do a closer look on what kind of skills they got and feats and all this stuff. So
Greetings.
in the meantime, I would like to start the campaign. And like it's saying here, you can also access the party creation interface by hitting the escape key, and there's a party editor button added. So if you want to change your party, you can do so. Let's start the campaign.
Our tale begins here, in the quiet fishing village of Easthaven, one of the so-called 10 towns of Icewind Dale. The tiny community is hardly a town, but rather a collection of ramshackle huts crowded together upon the icy shores of Loch Dineshire. Here, within a dimly lit tavern, a group of travelers sit huddled around a table, swapping tales and making grand plans for the future, completely unaware of the part they are to play in the events that are about to unfold.
What's this? New face in town, eh? Well met, stranger. The name is Hrothgar, originally of Hillsfar. But now, after years of traveling up, down, and under Faerun, I am content to call this town my home. Who might you be?
Greetings, Hrothgar. My name is Thavik.
Well then, welcome to Easthaven. Whatever your business in these parts might be, I would offer you this small piece of advice. While you're in my town, you do well to be on your best behavior.
Yes, sir.
These folk are under my protection, and anyone who would seek to do harm to them in any way shall answer to me. That said, I'll let you get back to your cups. I'm sure you've had a long journey, and you'll find there's no better way to shake off the cold of the road than by downing a few mugs of Grisella's best.
Grisella's best.
And if you're in need of lodging, I would recommend talking to Quimby over at the Snowdrift Inn, over on the east side of town. Equipment and supplies can be purchased next door, at Pomab's Emporium. Pomab's prices are a bit high, even for a Kalashite. But you'd be better off well-equipped and short of coin than the other way around. Ill-prepared travelers don't last long in these parts. Once you've had a chance to rest up and get your bearings, come by and see me at my house. It's just a couple doors west of here. There's some business I would discuss with you. Farewell.
Farewell. Okay, so Winter's Cradle Tavern. So let's go ahead and take a look at our party a little bit more detailed here. So first character here we got is Thavik Shan, my cleric. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Oh, and just so you guys know, I am using Tchos' HD UI mod and widescreen background mod. So it's going to change up these stats windows and your character information and your inventory and your spell books and the whole 9 yards is all changed. All the fonts are a lot bigger so you can read that stuff a lot better. So I highly recommend it. Now this inventory screen I did modify a little bit. I actually narrowed it and made it longer, whereas the original one that comes with Tchos is actually wider this way, so it adds like 4 more columns here off to the right, but it's shorter, so it cuts off about here. I just like it like this better, so I added the XML file that relates to this inventory screen to get it that way. So alright, let's take a look at our characters. We got a first level cleric here, lawful neutral. This is Thavik Shan. And I already went through the scores already. Let's take a look at his skills. Does have a good concentration, does have a good diplomacy. However, these, as it was stated in the early game, you're not going to use a lot of these diplomacy, bluff, and intimidates and all that stuff in this game. So I got a really good heal. I got decent listen, and a little bit in spot survival and taunt. Feats, he's a ladies' man. +1 listen, +1 diplomacy, -2 intimidate. He's got the toughness perk, gives him more hit points. And of course, the standard proficiency in racial feats for human. He's got healing domain and sun domain powers. Of course, he's got turn undead, and he's got luck of heroes. And looks like we have a suit of chainmail starting on him, along with a club, and we have coins of life, which actually are used for raise dead purposes in this game, or in this mod. So
I am certain.
let's go on to Broyshan, the brother of Thavik. His skills are as such. He's got a little bit in appraise, a little bit in craft, as far as alchemy and trap. He's got a decent amount in armor and weapon crafting. He's got some in intimidate, a little bit in lore, a little bit in parry, a little bit in search, and a decent amount in taunt, so we'll put that in a quick slot. We might use that. I might use it. I don't know if I will. I always forget that I have it, and I end up just forgetting about it. So, and he's got the veteran background feat, which gives him a +1 fortitude, -1 diplomacy. He's got the cleave and power attack feats, and of course the standard proficiency in racial feats and luck of heroes. And he starts with a suit of scale mail, no weapon.
Yes.
And the third character, Eric. He's our chaotic neutral rogue, lightfoot halfling. Take a look at his skills. And let's see, he's got a good amount in hide and disable device. He's got a decent amount in listen, really good. Move silently. Open lock is really good. A little bit in parry. He's got a decent amount in search and set trap, along with sleight of hand. A little bit in spot, and a good amount in tumble and use magic device. His feats are Wild Child, +1 survival, +1 tumble, +1 hide, +1 move silently, however -2 to lore and -2 to appraise. He's got the standard proficiency feats along with racial feats for rogue, and he's got luck of heroes. And last but not least, Pelor of Ulm. He is our neutral good moon elf wizard. Starting from the top, a little bit in the praise. He's got a decent concentration. He's got a good amount in craft alchemy and armor, and a reasonable amount in trap and weapon. A little bit in hide, a little bit in listen. He's got a really good lore. A little bit in move silently and parry. Decent search. Really good spellcraft with an 8. And feats, he's a wizard's apprentice. Gives him a +1 spellcraft, +1 lore, +1 craft alchemy. However, a -1 to fortitude saves and a -1 in spot. And of course, he's got the standard proficiencies for elf and wizard. And he's got luck of heroes, and along with summon familiar. Let's bring this familiar up, and that will give us Goric the beetle. Okay. And let's see, Goric the beetle. Let's go ahead and set him up. Most of the time I'll leave the familiars out of the game completely, but they do give them a little bit of bonuses, and they'll come in handy in the early game. So I'm going to make them always stealthy and scaled casting mode. And there's Goric the beetle.
Yes.
And let's see, what does the beetle give him? While the fire beetle familiar is summoned, the master gains +1 hit point per level. So that's the bonus that you get with the familiar. And of course, I think we all know familiars can also cast some of the spells that its master has. So right now he can cast Burning Hands. Alright, so we are in Winter's Cradle Tavern. So we might as well go ahead and speak with
Follow me.
Grisella. Who else we have in here? A bunch of commoners. And who we have a named one, Hildreth Highhammer. Let's talk to him. Oh, well met. Well, you seem to me like a fresh new vein of ore, all untried and untested. I be Hildreth. Should ye wish to know? A vein of ore? What do you mean? What I'm saying is that you look like a little new at this adventuring thing. No offense intended. We'll have to start somewheres. If you be looking for tips, I even have some news that might prove interesting to ye. What news do you have? I'm not all eyes and ears here. Mostly I've been keeping in my cups to keep the chill away, but I've heard that a local sword named Hrothgar is putting together some sort of expedition. Sounds like it might be fun. I'll be going along myself. What do you know about the expedition? The folks round here say that Hrothgar be a valiant man, but not the type to go dashing off to his death. They say he be an excellent leader. We were headed up to the mountains to investigate some sort of disturbance up there. You'd best be talking to Hrothgar himself to hear the full story. I'll go find him now. Thanks. Alright, got a little bit of tidbit information there. And let's take a look at our journal. And here's the journal entry we got when we were talking to Hrothgar. Today, our party arrived in the snowy lakefront community known as East Haven. Weary and half frozen from the road, we hastily made our way to the local tavern to find a hot meal and some friendly conversation. Scarcely had we seated ourselves at a table by the hearth when we were approached by a burly warrior who called himself Hrothgar. He seemed friendly enough, but something in his eyes warned us that he wasn't one to cross. He politely asked us to come see him at his home, a couple of doors west of the tavern, to discuss business of some sort. Alright, so we'll go see him in a moment. And let's go talk to Grishella, barkeep here. Hello there, dearie. Welcome to the Winter's Cradle Tavern. My name is Grishella. I own and operate this fine establishment. What can I get for you? I have some questions for you. Sorry, dearie, I haven't the time to chit-chat with you. I have a tavern to run, you know. If you're looking to catch up on local gossip, I suggest you buy a round or mingle with some of the other patrons. Alright, how about a drink? A drink? Of course, dearie. After all, this is a tavern. Plenty to drink here. Well, what do you have? Well, you see, I'm a bit in a bind. I've just run out of everything. I have nothing to offer you in the way of drink at this moment. You ran out of everything? Well, the tavern isn't run completely dry. I do have some stock down in the cellar, but... But what? This is rather embarrassing, but I'm having somewhat of a pest problem down in that dirty old cellar. I'm afraid to go down there. I do so hate bugs. Just the thought of those nasty creepies and crawlies sends shivers down my spine. Is there anything I can do to help? That's awfully sweet of you, dearie, but I don't expect you to go down in any trouble on my account. I'm sure I'll think of something. Have no fear, madame. I shall see to it that the pests down below trouble you no further. Wonderful! The stairs to the cellar in the back room. Now be careful down there, dearie, and don't let any of those little buggers creep back up here, alright?